Hello, and welcome to Star Wars Hour. It's me, Rich. D-Rock is out of town this week, but instead you'll get the lovely Jax.
Hello, everybody.
She's wearing her famous Imperial hair flower. You can get those on her Etsy shop at jaxmakesthings.etsy.com.
Yep.
And that'll be linked in the description. I think it is linked in the description.
Great.
And if it's not, then I'll be linking in the description at the end of the video. Anyways, welcome to Star Wars Hour. If you are new to the Star Wars Network, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications, so you'll be notified when we do things like this, when we do our weekly Star Wars Hour show live. We're going to be talking about a few things today. We're going to be talking about, of course, the Star Wars Han Solo trailer, and we're going to be breaking that down, as well as talking about the news that they released yesterday, that the guys who have created, not the author of the book, it's the guys who have made the TV show of Game of Thrones. They have been hired to make at least a couple Star Wars movies. It was confirmed by the Star Wars show on StarWars.com today that it's not just one movie. These guys have now been signed up for multiple movies. So the Game of Thrones guys, the guys that run the TV show, created the TV show, they are making multiple Star Wars movies, and we will talk about that after we go through the Solo trailer and break it down. And then we might have a couple more Star Wars things to talk about. But anyways, welcome to Star Wars Hour. Jackie, did you want to preface, say anything?
No, let's get to it.
All right, let's get to it. All right, so I'm going to start this from the beginning. I just had it so that there was something interesting to look at behind us while we set our piece at the beginning. All right, so right from the beginning, we have this fun little sequence of the little clickities and everything. I'm actually going to turn the volume up so people can hear it. So let's see that again. There's like little clicks. And if it was more comical, it would remind me of like an Edgar Wright movie, and if they did like the fun zooms. But it does remind me of something, and I've never been able to quite put my finger on it. And maybe it's just that.
It's like, like the pendulum, like maybe like the...
Actually, I was thinking, I remember I was saying to D-Rock when he was here that it kind of reminded me of the Dunkirk trailer a little bit, and maybe it's just kind of like the tone, especially the Super Bowl. This is not the Super Bowl teaser, this is the official teaser. But yeah, especially the Super Bowl one, it had that clicking kind of throughout a lot of it. It did kind of remind me of like Dunkirk trailer, or even the Rogue One trailer that had similar themes. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Nothing really hidden in there. It's like, oh my god, the Lucasfilm logo. We didn't expect that.
Scams on the street since I was 10.
Alright, so we get our first little bit of Han Solo narration here. I've been on the street since I was 10. Part of the thing about, Disney buying Star Wars is that, of course, they got rid of all Legends, but then certain authors of books, and then, of course, movie directors come in like, well, I like this and this from Legends. This movie is really going to define who Han Solo was, because we had an entire history of him in Legends, but then it got rewritten, and there's been comics, we learned about Han had a wife, in the past and everything.
Yes.
I don't know how much of this movie's going to cover that, or if they're going to pull a Phasma comic and say oh, those comics don't exist anymore, even though they were part of our new continuity. We make up new continuity so we can get rid of new continuity.
I really hope they put her in, because I really liked that story arc. It was cute.
Yeah, some people think that's what Thandie Newton's character, Newman's.
That's what I'm thinking and hoping.
Yeah, but I don't know. Could be, could not be. I don't know. But yeah, he's been on the streets since he was 10. It kind of is. It's at least similar to his backstory from Legends, because then he also says,
I was kicked out of the flight academy.
He says I was kicked out of the flight academy. You guys remember in Legends, Han Solo was at the flight academy for the Imperial Army before he decided to go smuggler. So maybe that's what he's talking about?
Maybe. I'm really excited because there was the talk about who's the director again?
Ron Howard?
Ron Howard, thank you. He was talking about how he was going to add those 2 stormtroopers in who inadvertently caused every chain reaction of every event of the Star Wars films.
Right.
And I was like, how are they going to add stormtroopers into that? Like that's just somebody who's not on that side with stormtroopers causing things to happen. And I think that's going to easily transition into their characters. He'll meet them at the flight academy. And there you go. I'm excited. What are their names again? Do you remember their names?
I don't remember their names.
Gosh.
And usually, And I guess I will say this since I always forget
Tag
to say
and
it at the
bink.
beginning.
Thank you,
Tag and
iJosh.
Tag and bink. But I was going to say, usually we don't answer questions until the last 10 to 20 minutes of the video. I forgot to say that, so I'll just say that now. But so you guys can talk amongst yourselves, but we won't answer questions to the end. I will answer Garrett's question, though, because he asks, do we know what year it is? And they have not actually given a specific year to all of this, but we assume it takes place about 10 years-ish before A New Hope, so 10 years before Battle of Yavin.
Nice.
BBY. So,
Nice.
yeah. Josh just said it too. All right, so I guess we're all good. Anyways, let's continue on with the rest.
iJosh is on top of it. He should be your co-host, not me.
But everyone loves your pretty face.
I was kicked out of the flight academy for having a mind of my own.
Stormtrooper like spinning.
I'm gonna be a pilot.
Skyrim.
What kind of fur is he wearing?
Yeah, I really hope he's not wearing a Wookiee wool coat here.
Oh, probably not.
I'm sure it's not. It just kind of reminds me of Wookiee hair. Oh, and some people have been pointing this out too. I didn't even realize it until this morning.
Oh yeah, clean cockpit.
This is the Millennium Falcon. I can't believe this is the hull of the Millennium Falcon. We're used to seeing it like a very, very off-white, very yellow, dirty hull. Like, I didn't even recognize this as the Millennium Falcon because of how clean and white it is. It's like you just walked into, like, the iPhone store here. You know, the Apple store.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But it's weird because I guess I just always assumed that it was at least started yellow and it just kind of got a little grungier. But nope. Apparently, Han Solo and Chewie were like, smoked like 10,000 cigarettes in this hallway to get it as yellow as it is by A New Hope. Because, man, is it clean here and nasty in that movie.
Yeah.
It aged like 100 years in 10 years.
In the galaxy.
Sorry, let me go back. This is we're getting our first outside view of the cockpit. You'll notice that it looks a little bit different. What I like is you can really tell that this is a physical model instead of, CG. And I'm not like one of those, like, it has to be practical. I mean, I like CG when it works well, and I like practical when it works well, as long as it looks good. But this is like he's standing there, and you really get a sense that he's in front of this thing. And, it looks really neat. This is a really neat shot. That's all I want to say.
Hey, kid.
And then this shot, for some reason, reminds me of, like, the Dark Tower, probably just because of the big tower.
Mm-hmm.
You'll kind of notice that this building in the background here... Oh, good, people can see my Madden mouse. As you look right over here, you'll see...
Oh, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Darth Vader's castle from, Rogue One. Although it's not nearly as thick. It's not as girthy as that castle was. But it does kind of remind me of the shape of it a little bit, And I know that they said that... somebody said from Lucasfilm that we might see Darth Vader's castle in this movie as well. And, because we're supposed to see Darth Vader in at least one scene in this movie. And, like, these guys are, like, walking to the beach as if they're, like... Jyn Erso and what's his face, like, about to get bombed.
Oh.
But this is interesting.
Like, you mean his castle on Mustafar?
Yeah, this is Do you think there's an ocean here? Do you think that this is Tatooine? Tatooine. We never saw an ocean on Tatooine before, but they are in the desert. Do you think this is a different desert planet? But this one, unlike Jakku and Tatooine and other desert planets we've seen, this one actually has an ocean.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think it's gonna be a new planet.
You got moisture farmers.
The new Star Wars love to introduce new planets. I think this is a new planet. Or have we ever seen what Han Solo's home planet looks like?
They have never shown Corellia.
Thank you,
That's
Corellia.
where he's from, Corellia. We've never seen it in a movie, but we've seen it in, like, Rogue Squadron and other mediums, and it
what kind
wasn't.
Of terrain is
it wasn't.
Wasn't deserty.
It wasn't deserty.
But, like, if you look, here, I'll move the mouse.
Yeah,
If
Garrett's
you look
saying
in the
Tatooine used to be
background-
lush, but not 10 years before A New Hope. And remember, that would still make it about 15 years. 5 to 15 years.
If you
The
look-
timeline is screwy. It would still be after Episode 1, and it was definitely
If you
deserty
look
already in Episode
back
1.
here, it still looks a little lush back there, so I just think they're on a beach.
Telling you, they're in the world of Skyrim.
I think they're on a beach. Because this doesn't look deserty.
This is where the Elder Scrolls
doesn't look like
mashup comes
dunes.
in. Yeah, I don't know. And there's like little plants in here, and that wasn't really part. They're obviously in California when they shot this, but we don't know what planet it's supposed to be. It's
Well,
Planet California.
yeah, Planet California.
I'm putting together a crew.
I'm terrible at
Whoa.
pausing on time. I just wanted to say, look at Woody Harrelson's hair. That's all I wanted to say. And I do think, if you guys notice this interesting motif, so in this movie, again, what isn't, so Han Solo had a mentor who had a completely different name in comics, and now Woody Harrelson's playing like they're calling it a mentor, but it looks like he's just kind of like the leader of this smuggling gang, and this smuggling gang is like, Kira, which is, the character played by Game of Thrones actress Emilia Clarke, and then we have Lando, played by Donald Glover, and then, of course, we have Chewie and Han. So it looks like they're just kind of forming this smuggling group, and maybe that's how Han and Lando and Chewie all meet each other? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Are you pointing out his little thing?
What does this little shoulder pad thing look like to you?
Just a fun little Star Wars aesthetic.
It doesn't look very, like Imperial to you?
It looks like it could have been stolen off of an Imperial, lapel badge, Or not a lapel badge.
Or like a piece of a ship.
Badge.
I don't know. It's just fun to look at. All right. Yeah. We have Gwendolyn Christie. And we have Emilia Clarke now in Star Wars. So we're bringing all the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We just need Iwan Rheon jumping ship too.
So, I'm just going to say, as you guys know, Ron Howard came in as director after this movie had been cast. I always wonder if Ron Howard had been the director from the beginning, what kind of cast would we have? Because he didn't get to make any of those decisions. Back when Lord and Miller were the directors, they went kind of a more comedy route, and that's why we have like Woody Harrelson and Donald Glover, because it was they wanted a comedy, and then Lucasfilm saw the dailies and they're like, oh no, this is too funny, so they had to have Ron Howard come in. But I still like either way, I like Woody Harrelson in this role. I'm sure Woody Harrelson is always great to me, so I'm sure he'll be good. Anyways, and I do like the idea of this kind of like they're forming like an Ocean's 11 type team up. Yeah, I wanted to pause here on her awesome costume. In fact, you were saying earlier, well, you should say it.
I want to make this costume because it's so cute.
Yeah, she's
look at her. Look how cute she is. Look at her go.
So I what I wanted to say is, you notice that Woody Harrelson had kind of like an overcloak thing. Emilia Clarke is wearing an overcoat thing. And Lando, just like in Empire Strikes Back, has his overcloak thing too. The only one not wearing a cloak is Han. Was it a part of this group that you have to wear an overcloak? And he was like, nah. But like, I don't know. Just speculating. I do like the robot guy back here. He's really fun too. And look, she's coming off the Falcon, which begs the question, is the Falcon hers? Is it Woody Harrelson's? Who dies so that Han and Lando have to fight over it? And, well, I guess
in Star Wars Clone Wars, isn't it canon that it's supposed to be Captain Rex's?
That was not in the Clone Wars show. It was in the Revenge of the Sith novel. That it wasn't Captain Rex's. It was Commander Cody's.
That's right.
It was Cody's ship, and you do for maybe 10 frames in Revenge of the Sith, you can actually see the Falcon being flown in to Republic headquarters. But yeah, I don't think that that's canon anymore. I think that we're gonna find out the canon answer right here, because it's like looks really great. It has a blue kind of paint on it.
Yeah.
That was Dandy Newman. His character right there. I'm gonna go back really quick. It's just too many things.
He's cute.
Too many things are happening really quickly in this trailer. Okay, that's our first glimpse of Lando, played by Donald Glover, and he looks enough like Billy D. Williams, I guess. You know?
The only one that I'm really like, doesn't quite look like the character is, I think, Han Solo. I think that was the mark. The
biggest mistake. We'll see if he can maybe at least play a fun character.
You give a performance, I'll forget about that.
Garrett, again, I'm not supposed to be answering chat, but here I am. Garrett's saying he was rather looking forward to the Boba Fett origin, but I will remind Garrett that Boba Fett movie by Josh Trank that got canceled was not necessarily a Boba Fett origin. In fact, speculation points to it taking place after
the Sarlacc
Return
pit.
of the Jedi, so we can actually see him come out of that Sarlacc pit and what he did between episodes 6 and 7. I don't think any of us we already kind of got the Boba Fett origin story in episode 2, where it shows him he's the son, the clone of Jango Fett. That was the Boba Fett origin story. I just want to see him get out of that pit, and I think that's kind of where they were going. But I don't think anybody. But he's right though. Nobody really asked for a Han Solo origin story. But hey, that's what we're getting, so we can only hope for the best. All right, so that we got Lando. We got Thandie Newman's character. I hope I'm saying that right. I can't remember if it's Newton or Newman. I think it's Thandie Newman. She was, she was in Chronicles of Riddick, and she was in tons of other stuff that I can't remember at the moment. But she's a great actress.
Well, I hope that she's playing the character of Han's wife.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. And then there's that fun little alien guy that it goes so quick I can't pause. And
then like it looks like a little owl boy right there.
that looks like it could be the devil-looking creature from episode 4.
Oh,
I
no,
can't
I
really
hope
tell.
not.
But this is obviously some kind of bar.
He has no business being in there.
Or maybe this is the Sabak club where he's gonna play
yeah.
Sabak against Lando with his.
Oh
fun...
yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can get a highlight on there. Okay.
You in?
There's Chewie.
Oh.
That's
He
it.
likes it.
Now he was talking. Is this the same planet that he was talking to them before? Because his hair's not as windy in this scene. But either way, they're back on Skyrim now. On planet Skyrim.
This looks pretty snowy. Yeah.
Lots of and look, they're showing the. You know what's really interesting?
Lando looks like he's driving.
Yeah, Lando. It's Lando's ship at this point, maybe, or at least he's the pilot they hired to fly. We'll see. I can't wait. This looks like it could be Ocean's 11 in space, but and better than the upcoming Ocean's 11 movie, which is Ocean's 8. This is interesting. They're using the hyperdrive effect, which they used in Rogue One, and of course they've used in every single Star Wars movie except for the prequels. And I always find it interesting that now the like Rogue One and this are using this hyperdrive because Lucas's reason for why he didn't use the effect in the prequels is he wanted at least one really cool effect to be saved for the original movies. He's like, I can't just have a whole bunch of stuff in the prequels because when you get to the original movies, you'll be like, oh, I've seen all that already. So the hyperdrive effect of going in space with the stars and the spinning, he saved as an effect exclusive for the original trilogy. But now, if you're watching the movies in chronological order, you're going to see that effect in Rogue One and in Solo. I guess that's okay, because, you know, there's just going to be an infinite amount of Star Wars movies eventually, but I just wanted to point that out, that I know way too much.
That could have been his descent into the downfall of the prequels, is not using some of the tropes that we're expecting.
Yeah.
Like hyperdrive.
This summer. Also want to point out that so many people were like, it's going to get delayed till December. You know, I already pointed out in previous videos that that's not possible because, you know, Mary Poppins is a hard date in December for Disney and they cannot have two major blockbusters within the same 2 weeks. But, you know, whatever. Anyways, confirmation that this is coming out in May. Yeah, whatever that alien thing is in there, that looks cool. I like. If you look at the.
Are they doing a duet?
Yeah,
Does he have a little microphone?
Yeah, it looks like he's got a little microphone there. I know that a lot of people really hate the singing number from Return of the Jedi, and I mean it is super kooky. But I mean, like, and I even though people hate it, I enjoy it just for the kind of outrageousness about it. And it looks like we are going to get another little alien singing duet thing.
She looks like here.
Well, she looks like a person, but he's definitely some kind of weird alien.
But this one looks very vintagey and very like fancy. It doesn't scream the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but look, so we just saw Han in kind of like a sleazy looking, like maybe card dealing kind of place. Yeah. Here, this is a very like almost like you know, ritzy kind of a place. You can see the golden staircase up here, and like these people in there, like they're all like obviously the choreographer told all the women to put their hands up in the same way because they're all doing it. You know, like
she's a little early.
She's ahead. But always said like, okay, girls, you're gonna. They dance like this. You know, like there's some basic space choreographer that told them how to dance, and they all just kind of did it because they're not.
She didn't follow.
Well, she
any
just looks like
rules.
she's looking out the window.
No. Everyone be like her. Don't follow the rules.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think this set looks really cool.
That might be the only part.
And there's another Emilia Clarke in her second costume. I think she wears like 3 costumes.
Too.
Completely different hair.
Look at her cute hair.
And then whatever this like little brooch or whatever is in the middle.
I love it.
And it looks like, and nobody has pointed this out, who is she talking to? Because this guy has a mad shoulder pad game going on right here.
Yeah, I like it. Maybe that's Han Solo in disguise. Because you can't get into this.
It could be Han in disguise. I think do you know how tall Donald Glover is? I think the Han guy is taller than him, but I don't know. I love that Western shot of unholstering the pistol.
Who knows?
And then this you know, Darth Revan looking guy right here, which is funny because it's now our second Disney Star Wars character to look like Revan, because you know the Kylo Ren mask kind of look like Revan. This face looks like the Revan face, but with some weird like Fallout Raider crap going on in the back here, and this definitely looks like a Fallout weapon right here.
Yeah.
This is basically what I call this scene is what I call Han versus the Raiders from Fallout, because it's literally what it looks like.
I like him.
And it like got some tribal stuff going on.
Oh,
down here.
yeah.
This looks really cool. If we do a movie, or if we do a video based on this scene, Garrett's playing this character.
Of course.
Because he's the cool looking tribal character wearing the weird mask. You know?
Sensei Doug said that's
No.
probably in the last scene.
Some robot cool action stuff. Look, they're back on Skyrim, now in space. Garrett's laughing. Here's Emilia Clarke in her third dress with her third hairstyle, talking to Han.
Really are.
And that's where she says the thing, I know who you really are. I remember like a year ago they said, somebody at Disney was saying like, oh, we're going to find out how he got his name. And I know that upset a lot of people because they're like, wait, so his name's not really Han Solo? I think his name is Han. Solo might not really be his name, and maybe that's why the movie's called Solo. Who knows? Would I be like, oh, his name is Han Solo, they can't change his name? If, remember guys, it's a movie. If the movie's done well, then it doesn't matter what the reasons are if it's explained well and it makes sense and it is good. If his name is something and it's not Han Solo. You know what I mean? Some people I feel like will just bitch if his name is something else at the beginning. Like, oh, his name's not supposed to be anything else but Han Solo. But I'll accept it if it's a good movie. Although, you know, anyways, yeah. Okay, what are you going to point out?
Who's this little fella?
That, I don't know what that ship is.
I
That's
like
not the Falcon.
him. I like him.
At some point, I'm going to make a
Could that be Woody's ship?
Either that, or maybe that's the ship that... I'm going to guess that the snow stuff is all early in the movie. I'm going to guess Chewie's actually piloting that ship before he meets the group.
Yeah, it looks kind of like it could be a Kashyyykian, however you would call whatever you would call the denizens.
Yeah, maybe.
Kashyyykian.
It's Kashyyyk. And Kashyyykians.
So is the Death Star having another...
This is the fourth Death Star right here?
This is the origin of the first test of the Death Star.
Oh, God. It's like, now here's the real first test.
Now here's the real one.
No.
Now here's the real one.
This looks a really cool explosion, though.
It does.
What's that?
Solo! Still, you know, it's funny because everyone's like, oh, did they copy the logo from the Solo cups? And the funny thing is, it's like the Solo cup stole the font from Star Wars. You know, it uses the Star Jedi font, like really, you look at it. And so, and Star Wars was first. So when you put Solo as the title of the movie, it looks like a red cup Solo logo because it's the same font. And that's why before they officially said what the name of this movie was, before they came out and said Solo: A Star Wars Story, the production name while they were shooting was Red Cup, kind of as a joke, you know. Anyways, Solo. I love this shot.
Oh,
I can't say enough about this shot.
Is that a new X-Wing?
That is a new TIE Fighter. It's a TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter. Fuck.
Which means we'll
man.
probably get it in our X-Wing game.
Yeah.
But I love this shot. It looks like they're going through a weird storm, like wormhole thing. You see like all the clouds around here. Like I love this. Like it's almost like painting-esque. It's very. I would pay hundreds of dollars for a painting of this frame, maybe a couple frames ago, but you know, basically of the storm with the TIE fighters coming and the lasers, and then this huge Star Destroyer, this wicked looking Star Destroyer coming through like the opening of the cloud. Like there is
it a lot,
no escape. This is truly what they would call an escapist. Not escapist, not landscapist. There's another word when it's like an atmoscape. I don't know. Make up some pretentious artwork, put it on this painting, and that's what it is. But it's really cool.
You see,
and yes, this.
So from the artist in me, there's this very alluring pattern that they're using. They're starting your vision on the little lights right here, and then they slowly swirl you into the middle, so your eyes kind of follow in that way. And that's a very common thing that a lot of art pieces do. So
yeah,
you're not wrong, but there's a reason why you love it.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, beautiful looking shot. There's two TIE Fighters.
Get ready.
Oh, that was her fourth costume with her fourth hairstyle.
Oh, go back.
Thought we were in trouble there for a sec.
Really?
Thought we were in trouble there for
Oh,
a
I
second.
didn't go back far enough.
Get ready.
There she is with her little jacket.
Oh, I think that's the first jacket.
No, is it? Are you sure?
Yeah, she just has it like it's kind of like off to the side.
Okay, I can't tell, but it looks. So we've become entertainment
think it's
tonight.
just
Now we're
opened
just talking
now.
about costumes. I love that.
Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine.
Fly.
Okay, right there. So one of the chief concerns and complaints about this trailer is this line right here. He's like, we're fine, we're fine. You guys, watch any original Star Wars movie, especially Empire and Jedi, when Han is
Don't tell him the odds.
Yeah, never tell me the odds, but especially just when he's like, fly casual, but don't look like whatever he says, he's like, see, I told you. He's always looking back and getting approval from his friends on what he's doing, because he knows that he's wrong, or that he messed up, and he just got away with it by fluke, and then he's like, yeah, see, I told you I'd be right, I told you.
Right here.
That is very much I don't know why people would complain about that line right there, because that is very much Han Solo. I feel like the people that are complaining about this line right here are very much the same people that were complaining about Darth Vader's line in Rogue One, careful not to choke on your aspirations, director. People are like, that's too cheesy for Darth Vader. Guys, do you remember apology accepted, Admiral P? Darth Vader was always a sassy bitch. That was kind of his bit.
Do the thing he hasn't thought about in a long time.
I sense something I haven't sensed since... I mean, that's not exactly the line, but that's pretty much what he does. And guys, it's Star Wars. It's always a little kooky, but that's why we love it so much. That's why we made the Star Wars Hour and the Star Wars Network, because we love it so much. But guys, it is kooky. Get over it.
Yes.
Anyways.
And by the way, I was fourth choice for co-host, so you're getting the end of the bucket here with me, calling things X-wings when they're TIE fighters.
X-wings.
Also, I just want to mention, this is the shot that I probably would say that he is the most Han Solo.
So I'm just adjusting the camera.
It's a little dim, so I can't quite see his face, but he's like, if I look hard enough, if I, adjust my glasses here, he's got that, like, smirk, like he just did something wrong, but really awesome.
Like, I don't think, this is my
has.
new opinion on this. I don't think he looks or sounds quite like Harrison Ford,
No.
but he does look and fit like Han Solo. You know what I mean? I could see this guy's Han Solo, if that makes any sense. I'll make my final judgment when I see the movie, but right now it's looking pretty good to me.
This dude's face is a lot wider than Han Solo's. Like, just...
Squid Monster also pretty cool. Memorial Day.
When's Memorial Day?
Is
that in May?
That is in May. I know it's in May.
I thought it was supposed to be May.
And that's going to be the Star Wars little thing.
Well, where are we?
We're on the web page.
Wow.
All right, here we go. I'm going to expand this and bring us over to...
How long have we been live? Only 33 minutes?
Only 33 minutes.
Oh man, we gotta get some more information here.
Now we're in space.
Wow, in space.
All right, here we go.
Woo. Okay, cool. Oh, there we are.
Just bringing this up a little bit. Okay, guys. That was our breakdown of the Han Solo trailer.
Oh, we can't see the chat though.
Destined to be its own video in a couple of days. Just, get those, those people that don't want to watch the whole Star Wars hour. They can watch, like, segments, I haven't done that in a while, but we need to make segments. Anyways, so keep in mind what you want to ask about that, because, again, we'll get to them at the end, but we're going to change subjects now, and we're going to turn our attention to the ever-growing story that, again, as I said at the beginning, the creators of Game of Thrones, and I know it's not George R.R. Martin, the creators of the show, they are making Star Wars movies. And it was just like a little tweet that they put out, I think, on Monday night or Tuesday morning, where it was like, it showed the picture of the two guys from Game of Thrones, and they're like, these guys, we have just been hired by Lucasfilm, or something like that. It did not have any details. But then this morning, on the Star Wars show, they were talking about that it's going to be movies, plural. And here's what Kathleen Kennedy had to say. David and Dan, those are the guys from Game of Thrones, are some of the best storytellers working today. Their command of complex characters, depth of story, and richness of mythology will break new ground and boldly push Star Wars in ways I find incredibly exciting.
Boldly go where no Star Wars has gone before?
And then they said, the creators of the Game of Thrones show said, in the summer of 1977, we traveled to a galaxy far, far away, and we've been dreaming of it ever since. We are honored at the opportunity, a little terrified by the responsibility, and so excited to get started as soon as the final season of Game of Thrones is complete. So they are really excited. It's David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, for anybody who cares. So
They look like nice gentlemen.
People are really divided on this. It really depends on if you like or don't like Game of Thrones. If you like Game of Thrones, you're probably excited. If you don't like Game of Thrones, then these guys are not the right ones to make it. I like Game of Thrones, but what I never understand, and this goes for all fan bases. What I don't understand is people think like, oh, so they're gonna make like a ultra violent, rapey, like misogynistic Star Wars movie, guys. If Steven Spielberg makes E.T. the extraterrestrial, does that mean that Jurassic Park is going to have aliens and a kid who warms up to one in that movie? No! Guess what, guys? You are allowed to be creative, and you are allowed to make two completely different things.
It's true.
If I made a Dracula movie, would I put Mario in it? Alright, that's a bad example. I might put Mario in it. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, you're not going to just make the same thing you've made before. I would assume, I could be completely wrong, but I would assume that these guys are going to make a Star Wars movie. Actually, they're supposed to make at least two. They're going to make Star Wars movies that are going to feel completely different from Game of Thrones. I mean, there might be some cinematic choices that it's like, oh, that kind of feels a little Game of Thronesy, but overall, they're making Star Wars movies, guys. There's not going to be sex scenes because it's Disney. There's not going to be, that ultra violence because it's a Star Wars movie. They're going to make a Star Wars movie. That's why Lord and Miller got fired from the Han Solo movie, because apparently what they were making was not a Star Wars movie. It was a stupid comedy. So they had to get Ron Howard in there to make a Star Wars movie. You guys understand? If these guys go too out of the box, if they go too extreme, if it doesn't feel enough like Star Wars, they will get the axe, just like all the other directors that got the axe, which is both a good and bad thing. To me, I think directors should have a lot of freedom, but maybe those guys that did get fired, like Lord Miller, they should have known better. When you're handling a property like Star Wars, you got to keep it somewhat in line, otherwise it's going to throw the continuity off. These guys are been pretty good. I know that continuity with Game of Thrones hasn't been quite on par with the books, but that's because, they didn't have the rest of the books to really, figure out where they're going. I'll forgive them for that, but the point is, I'm really excited for what they're going to bring to the table with Star Wars, and I'm looking forward to it. What about you, Jackie?
I'm excited. Yeah, have they ever done anything original? Like, I know that Game of Thrones was based off of books, so...
I'm going to IMDb them right now, but you
Okay.
go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Game of Thrones. I don't really like too medieval of type of stuff, like that era. I'm not too into it, but like Game of Thrones just pulled me in. I was very excited to see it, and also I really love Iwan Rheon from Misfits, and I was really glad to know that he was joining the cast back when he did, and he did a great job. All the actors did a great job.
So to prove my point further that these guys can write something that isn't Game of Thrones, these guys have written episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is nothing like Game of Thrones. So, obviously Game of Thrones creators is like the headline, but these guys have written other stuff. It doesn't matter. We're not going to get a Game of Thrones Star Wars movie. It's going to be just something really cool from the guys that have made Game of Thrones.
They are pretty new to the writing and directing game. Are they going to direct the Untitled Star Wars project?
Yeah, I believe it's, I know that they're writing it. I believe that they're slated to direct it as well.
Good for them.
But yeah, there's not enough information about it to
That's
really
fine.
know. All we know is that we do know for sure that they're writing them. I guess they didn't actually announce for sure that they're directing them also, but I guess we'll...
What about the other guy? You only looked up D.B. Weiss.
You're right.
I mean, the other guy could be the more seasoned.
Okay, so that was D.B. Weiss. David Benioff has written... Oh, he's written... Whoops.
Yeah, he's...
Yikes. His writing credits
Uh-oh.
are a little bit more sketchy. He's also written episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but...
He wrote the same one.
Actually, we're looking at David Benioff now. He has written... He wrote the screenplay to Troy, which is actually a movie I do enjoy. But he also wrote a movie that is really divided, and that would be X-Men Origins Wolverine. But I will like to point to my credit, X-Men Origins Wolverine is also completely different from Game of Thrones. So, and I'll never get people to stop being people, but I don't understand why when somebody does one thing that's really famous, now people expect that to be like everything that they do, Yeah, I guess it just society.
To his defense, X-Men Origins came out in 2009, and the first Game of Thrones episode came out in 2011, so it was definitely a learning experience for him, and he has definitely learned from that.
Yeah.
So I have confidence in a lot of things, just like the one.
Are you talking about Sound of Music?
Yes.
I have confidence in sunshine. Like I was like really
I was
confused
trying
as
to
when
think
you're
of
trying
Julie
to bring
Andrews.
up Julie Andrews. Yeah. I have confidence in me. All right, we're not going to sing Sound of Music stuff here.
I have confidence in Game of Thrones writers.
So, anyways, where are we at right now? I think that's I can't see because my timer thing is off, but I think we're at 41. So we can actually,
Yeah, it looks like it's
if
41.
there's nothing else, we can move to questions. I think that we pretty much covered it. It was just the Han Solo.
Did you say that you were in the Star Wars show today?
Oh, I guess that is a little bit of fun news for all you fans out there. I was actually featured briefly on the Star Wars show today. They were showing all the different reactions of everyone who well, not everyone, but they showed a lot of people who reacted to the Han Solo trailer, and they showed clips of me at least like 3 or 4 times. So I was like, oh, that was cool. It's like, they show all these other like people that were like, oh my god, Han Solo, woo! And then they get to me and I'm just like like being myself, and I was like now I wish I had been more excited during the trailer. I didn't know I was going to get featured on the official Star Wars website and on Star Wars, on StarWars.com and in the Star Wars show. So whatever, I'm still in the video, but I'm probably the most boring person in that video. It's fine. Anyways, yeah, so I guess, so that's about it. So I'm going to expand questions now. What are you doing?
Who's that?
Amanda Peet from like the whole 9 yards. Okay, so one of the writers of Game of Thrones is married to
He's
Amanda
married
Peet.
to her.
If anybody cares.
Okay, that's cute.
Alright, so I'm going to expand this. Okay, now we are answering your questions. Guys, if you have questions about the Han Solo trailer, questions about the upcoming movies by David Benoff and D.B. Weiss, the creators of Game of Thrones, or if you have questions about the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy, or questions about anything Star Wars, let us know now, and we will start answering them starting now. Alright, Garrett says there's lots of pre-MCU movies that struggled with tone. Oh, I think he means, because in the context of like X-Men Origins, he means pre-Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I mean, well, let's be honest, Garrett, there are movies after the MCU that still struggle with tone. Not in the MCU, but say from that, same studio, Fox, that made X-Men, because until that Disney deal's complete, Fox still does the X-Men thing, and it's been really hit and miss. And the only reason, and again, this is Star Wars Hour, but I will just say that the only reason the MCU works, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is so good, is because it's run by the one guy that knows what he's doing, Kevin Feige, and it's, he's a part of Marvel, and it's a bigger part of Marvel Entertainment. Marvel Entertainment makes their own movies. What do you know? Unlike over at Warner Brothers, who just owns DC, and Warner Brothers executives make those movies. But it doesn't matter. We're talking about Star Wars. Just saying that's the first thing that caught my attention in the comments. So I'm sorry. Anyways, let's see. iJaw64 says Mark Hamill could play an evil clown and a Jedi Master, and also a Sith Lord and a Yeti. Talented people can do anything they want. Absolutely, they can. Jackie, I don't know what you're doing, but I need you to look for comments.
Sorry, I was looking at something completely different. I was looking at Star Trek Discovery because Jason Isaacs is in it. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw him right there on that little...
He was in the first trailer.
I didn't see it.
Oh, all right. Well, he's...
But, I've heard bad things, but this is Star Wars, not Star Trek.
Talking about Star Wars.
So we're just going to pan off of that. I'm looking for comments.
Yeah, look for comments. Sensei Doug says, thoughts on the Xenomorph showing up. Was there a Xenomorph in Star Wars?
No, but I'm into it.
I mean, that idea...
I'm into it.
I mean, eventually, Fox might be owned by Disney if that deal goes through, and we could potentially see a Xenomorph in Star Wars, although I don't think that that's going to happen, because the moment they start crossing... Like, I don't want to see Marvel and Star Wars or Star Wars and Marvel, and I don't want to see, like, I think Disney needs to keep their properties separate, kind of. I don't want to see, like, I don't want to go back to those old 50s days of, like, Flintstones meet the Jetsons and all that crap. Like, nope. And I think he might just be messing with us because I don't think there was a xenomorph anywhere in Star Wars. But hey, he can clarify that if he wants to. You're looking at Garrett's comment? Garrett says, anyone else you would like to see offered a directing creative partnership with Lucasfilm? This is interesting. This is actually a question we got in last week, I think. And I can't even remember who I remember. I said I would really like to see Guillermo del Toro be offered a job at Lucasfilm. Well, at least a directing job for one movie, at least. Because I love his choice of style, his aesthetics, his practical effects, I always think of Pan's Labyrinth, I love everything that Guillermo del Toro does, and of course you have Guillermo del Toro, that means you're going to have, like, all of his kookiness and everything, and I think that there could be, like, a kind of I think, actually, he's going to be my pick for an Old Republic movie. Guillermo del Toro, you heard it here first. My pick for directing Old Republic is going to be Guillermo del Toro. I really think he could do it, and he'd be awesome at it.
Can you imagine how many alien species there would be in that del Toro
There would
movie?
be, like, one human and all aliens in a Guillermo del Toro.
I am super into that. I love that. I think the main character would be an alien. For sure.
Oh, Garrett says Xenomorph had a cameo in Rogue Squadron, just a glancing Easter egg.
Nice. And then...
Okay. Maybe he was talking to someone else and not me when he mentioned the thing about... the Xenomorph, because I never mentioned Rogue Squadron at all, so I don't know. I don't think that was directed at me, because I don't know. There was absolutely no context for that. Did you notice the Xenomorph? It's like, in what? So, so I guess that just went over my head, or I missed something. All right.
Oh, there's also a Xenomorph in the Revenge of Tag and Bink. Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
iJosh says, throw me into a Sarlacc pit if that ever becomes canon. Actually, don't. Okay.
What if the next main character is the Sarlacc? What a movie would that be?
Say that again.
I said, what if the next movie, maybe the Game of Thrones directors, they wrote a story about the main character being the Sarlacc.
The Sarlacc pit is the main character. Is the whole thing in subtitles? And it's just like, get me out of here.
It's like, what's Inner Space? What's that movie when they go inside the person?
That's Inner Space, yeah.
Yeah, that's the story of rescuing Boba Fett. Inner Space Star Wars. Directed by Game of Thrones.
Inner Space Star Wars, directed by the guys who made Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Gary says the Sarlacc trilogy. Oh god, not a whole trilogy, please.
The quest to find Boba. The Sarlacc journey.
I don't even think there should be absolutely no struggle. I think that I would, if they ever get back to doing a Boba movie, all I want to see, the first shot of the movie, boom, hand coming out of the sand. And then it can skip 10 years after that for all I care.
You mean
I just want to know. Yeah, I think they did that in that YouTube video. All I want to see is him escape, and then that's it. And then they can tell whatever story they want after that, but I just want a shot of him escaping.
iJosh is into my idea. Couldn't you imagine, like, there's an entire city inside the Sarlacc, and people are just like, yeah, we accidentally fell in, we just made a city, and, like, we know we're going to be digested for 1,000 years, like, we're gonna die before we're done being digested, so, like, come have a beer with us.
That's great. Garrett says, featuring the squid thing from Solo and the asteroid worm from Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, they're friends with the Sarlacc.
I'm gonna have to make this fake trailer now.
Oh my gosh.
Sarlacc,
yes.
a Star Wars story.
I love it.
And then, of course, we have to have, like, the Wampa a Star Wars story, Tauntaun a Star Wars story. We might actually be getting a Yoda a Star Wars story at some point. Definitely,
I'm down.
Kenobi a Star Wars story is happening at some point.
Yes, for sure.
If we're gonna get everything a Star Wars story, except for, like, the one story that I really want, which is
Rogue 2,
the
a
Old
Star
Republic.
Wars story.
Which I don't think that they would call it the Old Republic a Star Wars story. It'd just be called Star Wars: The Old Republic, and then they could do subtitles for every sequel. The Old Republic, the fall of Revan, the rise of Malak, the
I'm into it.
rise of the Emperor. I don't know, whatever you want to do. They put Old Republic before it, and I'm good.
AK reminded you that Yoda and Kermit still need to sing together.
Oh my god, thank you for reminding me. That was a joke, but we probably will make that at some point. We're still looking like, that'll be easy. We'll just get Kermit and Yoda puppets, right? Wrong. We have scoured the internet, looked on eBay, Amazon. We can't find, like, actual, like, Kermit and Yoda puppets to save our life. And you'd think that that would be a thing you could buy because they are really puppets in real life. But no, you can get, like Yoda and Kermit backpacks, Yoda and Kermit plushies, Kermit and Yoda, a bunch of stuff that isn't puppets. I don't know why they don't make puppets. So I think people that, like, I've seen a guy walk around a convention, like a long time ago, holding up a really professional looking Kermit puppet. I think he made that himself because there are no puppets you can buy for either one of them. It's really crazy. So someday when we find puppets for them, we will make that video because I want to see it for certainly. But
Trailer Park Samurai said, have they gone to any prequel planets since episode 3, and will they go to Kashyyyk?
They have gone to prequel planets. Rogue One featured Mustafar, which was a planet specifically from
course.
episode 3.
Of course.
And, I mean, technically, they go to Tatooine all the time in the original trilogy, and Tatooine was in the prequel, so I know that's kind of retroactively, but, you know.
Josh said possibly Coruscant, but I don't think that was Coruscant, because apparently Coruscant was blown up, and right? Am I explaining this right from Force Awakens?
What are you trying to say about Force Awakens?
You know the planet that they were on.
The Hosnick system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They moved all the Senate and everything to that planet.
Here's what happened.
So what happened to Coruscant?
So this was in. By the way, guys, I'm super sweaty. But in the book Aftermath,
Alderaan. Thank you, Garrett.
Yeah. So wait, what was your thing about Alderaan?
Oh, I thought I was saying Alderaan, and I was saying Coruscant. Either one. I don't know what I was saying.
Wait, he's saying you were thinking of Alderaan?
I don't know.
Jackie's talking about the planet that gets exploded in The Force Awakens. Alderaan blows up in A New Hope, right?
No, I wasn't thinking of Alderaan. I was thinking of Coruscant.
Okay. Well, let me clarify what I think you're thinking of, okay? That was the Hosniak system in The Force Awakens.
Yes, I know that.
Coruscant used to be the Republic Senate and the Republic, and then after Episode 3, Palpatine made the Jedi Temple into his palace, and the Senate just became like his Imperial War Room. And yes, so Coruscant was kind of screwed. And when the Rebels won against the Empire, they were like, well, we could spend like 100 years like rebuilding Coruscant to make it the way it used to be, or we could take a couple years and just make a new Senate on a new planet. And they went with the latter option. They put a new Republic Senate on a new planet, which was in the Hosnian system. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it was something like that.
Hosnia.
So Coruscant, as far as Episode 8 is concerned, should still exist, and hopefully by now they've gotten rid of all the Imperial stuff. I don't know, but I believe, to answer,
but Vader took a dump all over it.
Yeah, I don't know, but so that's my opinion. I believe, Garrett, that Jackie was talking about the Hosnian system from The Force Awakens.
Yes.
Alderaan has been long since destroyed. I know that the way that she was explaining it was confusing to me.
Sorry,
too.
I do that. I confuse everyone. I thought of something while you were explaining that, and I don't remember what I was trying to say. That's okay. I hope to see some new planets. Or at least some that we've explained. Like, we've never seen Alderaan, right?
We have seen Alderaan. It was at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Not enough. Like, that was just, like, during
they show when Bail Organa is handing the baby to his wife.
Yeah.
That's Alderaan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen Kashyyyk?
We have seen Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk was featured heavily in Episode 3 during the battle with the droids and everything.
And in the
as well as the Star Wars Holiday Special. Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that up too.
You knew it. You saw it in my face, didn't you?
Is that? I feel like we haven't gotten a comment in like 5 minutes. Is it broken, or are people just not talking to us anymore because we were arguing?
I think they hate us.
Oh, there they go. Anyways, yeah. So, I guess that how long? I think that's about it. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up before
we're at
we go
55.
away?
Yeah.
We got a couple more minutes. I just don't see any more questions. I was hoping that Garrett would have a retort for being like, no, she was talking about Alderaan because of this thing, but he never got back. So I guess he
says Coruscant was in Rogue One during a flashback.
I don't remember it in Rogue
Trying
One.
to think.
I think you might be thinking when Jyn is having that flashback when she was like a really little girl, and you know they like remember they were like showing the scene with them with the guy and everything. It's that one scene where she's really small, not at the very beginning, but later in the movie where she's like really small. I don't know if that was Coruscant or not, but it was definitely an Imperial home in an Imperial city. Could have been Coruscant, I don't know.
We'll have to look at the books.
No, Garrett said, no, I see what you're talking about now. iJosh says, do you know about the dislikes on this video? This video that you're watching right now? There's a bunch of dislikes on this video? Jeez. I don't know. I don't think we did anything to offend anyone, but apparently we got dislikes on the video. Well, that's okay. What are you going to do? All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the Star Wars Hour. We're always hoping to serve the Star Wars community, and thank you for supporting us. I'm all tongue-tied right now. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe now and hit the bell for notifications. And remember to go to Etsy.com or jaxmakesthings.etsy.com to get some cool stuff like this really cool Imperial flower head bow, as well as other cool things like the Han and Leia I Love You I Know glass set. That's a really cool thing you can get on her Etsy. So many cool things. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed Star Wars Hour. I'm Rich.
I'm Jax.
That's Jax. Bye guys.
Bye.